Yo boys, back with another video. Today we're going to be doing Rogue Mage, and this was with a viewer, so yeah, we ended up getting some really good games, and we actually didn't even lose one. We won every single game, and they were actually pretty solid games at around 2K. Now, if you guys were wondering why you're having a rough time at 1800 right now, the only people playing the game right now or are either sweats or they're people trying to try their hardest to push for their PVers going for their 1800 and they're just sweating, they're buying carries. There's a lot of boosters out there and a lot of people that are fully geared and just taking down, like in my situation. There's a lot of people doing, or actually, there's a decent amount of people doing viewer games, but mainly it's just a lot of carries. Everyone's buying carries and they're just getting, you know, boosted up. So you're facing a lot of those. But mainly it's just everyone being full gear. It's just not a fun time. But in Dragonflight, everyone should come back, and it should be just like it usually is. 2100 will be simple to get. Everybody will be able to get it, and everyone will have the same gear finally. So that's nice. So everyone having one set of conquest gear at 0 CR, and you don't need any type of CR anymore, which is great. Huge change. So you'll just be able to get gear and play the game. And you'll have the same gear as everyone else, so then it's the better player, or obviously it could just be the better class, because that's one thing that I don't think they'll ever be able to change. There's always going to be those few classes that just outshine everything, but we'll see what's happening. But I kind of was sketchy about being hyped, but I think anything is better than Shadowlands. So I'm ready for Dragonflight. I want to play it, and I can't wait to stream it and do some videos. But here I'm gonna wait until he busts, then I'm gonna Trinket Cloak, and then I'm gonna instantly Kinny him. Now, the reason we Trinket Cloak on bus is obviously because we're not going to be able to live a Busco. Combustion, you have to trade on or else you will die. Do not try to hold unless your teammate, like if my mage kicked him on fire and he busts, then I can hold. But the rogue also used Venthyr. The problem with Venthyr rogue is you're not getting it's not like, really good. It's just not. It's not good with a mage, especially when you're using it like he did. He used it on the bus. What he should have done is he should have saved it until the second go, and then shadowy dueled me and then kill me. Basically, that's what you can do. But in this situation, he's also playing undead, so at least in Dragonflight, you will also get the relentless trinket. So everybody's gonna have it. So and it doesn't stack with the orc ritual. So now you're allowed to play any race you want. Obviously, Night Elf is probably going to be the best one because you'll have an extra vanish, but you're not like forced to play it. Everyone's going to have that relentless, which kind of is a nerf to rogues because we lose out on stuns on everything now. And I don't know how good it is. It's going to be for like blind sapping. Like I don't know if it'll affect that or if it's just stuns. I'm not really sure. But as you can see, we end up getting the eyeball here. We find the rogue and I disarm him early just in case he's cheat death. You never know when that cheat death can just end up saving his life because you've seen my cheat deaths where they end up, saving me for like 6 seconds. Basically, the more damage you do, the more of the chance the cheat death will just proc and it'll save him. So I ended up disarming him just in case he lived. He couldn't just instant stun me and bust on me. I was a little sus, but whatever. I end up sapping him here. So what my mage needed to do is he needed to stealth up and then spell steal, and then he can start opening with G-Pie or something like that. But instead, he kind of just rolls up on this guy. He ends up silencing. As soon as he siphons, I'm just going to open. You could just wait. The problem is, a priest is not going to win. So if they don't click anything on me, I'm not going to use anything. So he didn't blades. He didn't use his cosmic trinket. So I'm not going to trade anything. Now, if you did trade something there, like if he gets a mind games off or something like that, you're going to have to trade. But your goal is basically to just keep going. You want to swap to everybody you can before your goes done. And then as you can see, I'm going to double file. So as soon as that pre-stun is about to be over, you're going to instantly double file. And what that does now is, as you can see, I'm from 30% to 100%. I'm going to disarm him because he was going to get ready to stun me there. So this allows me to get ready to stun him, and now I can stun him and basically just take him out. So I'm going to Shadowy Dome I'm going to show like right now, super low. I'm going to blind him. Now I could sap and then blind, which is better. So the reason why I blind and then sap is so he doesn't go out of stealth with a good old-fashioned blind. Because if you blind and shadowy duel, when he comes out of it, if he's still in vanish, he'll be in stealth, and then you'll have to shuriken him out, and that'll put him in combat. Which obviously he's so low that it's probably gonna kill him, but there's a chance that he could kin you and possibly Shadowy Duel take you out because, like I said, he has every single cooldown. He hasn't used a single cooldown for burst. I still have Trinket, but I have nothing else. I had no disarm, no vanish, no evasion. I would be dead. There would be nothing for me to, the DR would be off. But in that situation, we end up taking him out. But yeah, that was a pretty solid game. They didn't play that bad. I think the main thing is his trinket, especially when the priest had swap. So what the rogue needed to do, he needed to save trinket the first go, and then that second go have trinket. Because he swapped the first go, so that means he could have just sat the entire stud and then just swapped, and he would have been fine. But unfortunately, he ends up trinketing, and then they swap on top of it. And then we also get dispersed. We just get a bunch of cooldowns in the opener. So here, we end up sapping him, which is really good. He's undead. My mage is completely outplayed. This is where I didn't need a cloak right here. As you can see, the other mages are way far. I didn't even notice. So I wasn't even paying attention to that. So there I don't need a cloak. I can hold cloak. It was a really bad misplay, which could have ended me. But look at my mage. He's just completely controlling that mage. So while I'm sapped, he actually gets a really good ring on me. And then he ends up ring of firing. So the rogue ends up running right into it. As you can see, he ends up, I juke him. So I get a re-stealth and I juke him. And then I just cheap shot him and we end up killing him here. I'm gonna kidney off my cheap shot because you never just want to triple cheap shot. You want to try to get a kidney in there. You want to cheap shot the first go, and then once your kidney's up, you can kidney. That's what I usually do. It gives you more stun durations and it makes you able to do more damage. So for the next game here, I think we are facing H-Pop Warrior, which is really insane comp. I definitely don't think this comp should ever lose to us. I actually know rep, so I knew he wasn't gonna be rad. It's a rank 1, so I kind of knew this was gonna be a GG, but at the same time, I had faith. So here, what we're gonna do is Kitty. My guy ends up getting a good old fash. Combust. My guy Sacks here. He's actually running full sack, so can't do much against that. We're gonna swap on the H file. If we had a little bit more damage, we probably could have procced his bubble, or like, yeah, we really wanted to proc bubble there, but it was unfortunate. I ended up disarming because I fake cast it and then I click it and then he just disarms it, and I was like, well, kind of unfortunate. I end up DR blinding him because I have to. Because if he gets my guy out right now, he's dead. I could stun him, but then that stops the entire DR go, which means we end up losing. I end up running into his AoE. That's why I couldn't sap. I end up kinning so my guy can blink sheep, and we end up getting a really solid setup here. We end up getting bubble. We end up getting a lot of cooldowns. So my guy has to live. I end up shadowy dueling defensively, so my guy can. It was just on Hodge as well. As you can see, the H is kind of 1v1 him. My guy is really low. So we have one more chance. He needs a DB, so he DBs. I'm gonna kidney, or I'm gonna cheap shot, and then I'm gonna kidney. Now I'm gonna cheap shot, so I can kidney the warrior, because if my warrior gets one hit off, he's gonna die. He ends up almost surviving with the Kyrian. That was a crazy how he almost survives. Thankfully, I vanished for the extra shadow dance, and we end up taking him out. I end up sapping him, but he bops. And obviously, since the seed is awful and it dies in 2 hits, he legit 2 taps it. Thankfully, he ends up just leaving. He realized that he can't win, and he was like, all right, GG's. So here, what we're going to do is we're going to wait until the rogue opens. He can DB sheep and then ring around it, and then I'm going to bomb it. Now, if it's a good druid, he'll just sit on the outer side and roar it. Well, we'll see what happens. So we bomb here. He ends up getting a really good cyclone, except he gets kicked. I end up cheaping him. He doesn't have ring, so I'm going to blind off of it. So I end up blinding him here, blind. And then even though he gets cloak, it doesn't really matter because we already got double trinket. I end up almost killing him. It's really close. I end up getting a pre-file before he can get his damn. The problem here is he vendetted the wrong target. He needed to vendetta the mage. He would have got block off of vendetta. He vendettas me, which is insanely bad for that because they would have already had block right now and they would have been ready to go. So really bad misplay by the rogue Yante, but not a super big deal for me. I told my guy to block because I was like, yo, we just win next go. We just have to survive. All my guy needs to do is either DB ring the druid, or he can, DB the rogue and I'll cheap shot. Let's see what happens. So he double DBs, but I cheap shot just in case. He ends up getting a really insane ring, and as you can see, we end up taking him out. I make sure I don't space my stuns just in case, because I know he's going to die. And that's basically it, boys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know what you guys want to see next. And we will see you tomorrow. Peace, peace, ladies and gents. Peace, peace.